Hello there, welcome to the custom card review. For those of you who are new to this, what I do is review custom cards about Yu-Gi-Oh, the trading card game, which were sent in on my Twitter. And the way I review it is I look at the cards and think, okay, that's cool, and that's about it. People love the custom card review for a number of reasons, but they don't love it that much because I'm only the 5th best custom card reviewer. One day I plan on climbing the rankings and defeating the other, whatever they're called, custom carders. Okay, let's get into this. First up, what we have here is Raging Winds. This is a continuous trap card. Where's Raging Winds in the art? I guess it isn't really raging. It seems more like a gentle breeze. This should be called Gentle Winds. If you gain life points, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. If your opponent activates a card effect while your life points is higher than your opponent's, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard to negate that effect. I like this card because Aro Mages, like, the first effect is Supervious. Not once per turn. Yeah, it's basically Fire Princess on legs. But also, it's a negate for Aro Mages. Every time you gain life points, you inflict 500 damage to your opponent. And you can just send this to the graveyard to negate one card. Why it's a trap and not a spell? Well, because that way you can't use it in FTKs. And Fire Princess is still better. Aro Mage support? Yeah, this one's just Aro Mage support. So the person who sent this in sent in a couple of cards, and I just chose this one. This would be a 3 of? Yeah, this would be really good. Next up, I forgot about this one. Rosavie Unleashes the Sea. When your opponent activates Max C, quick effect. You can spell to summon this card from your hand, deck, or graveyard. When your opponent draws a card by the effect of Max C, quick effect, draw one card. And both players have 10 or more cards in their hand. You can tribute this card, add a number of Max C from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That was a lot of cards. This is cursed.
You wanna Maxi me, bro? Maxi you back! Big idiot, get out of here.
Next up, we have Wild Magician, Master of the Feral Imps. Whoa. I think that's the Feral Imp, as well as the Wild Magician riding his back. Or should I say the Wild Spellsean? Anyways, 1 Dark Spellsean plus 1 Fiend Effect Monster or Feral Imp. Once per turn, quick effect, you can send a Fiend Monster from your deck to the graveyard, add 1 Equip spell from your deck to the hand, or if this is your opponent's turn, you can immediately equip it to this card. Whoa. Send a Fiend from the deck to the graveyard to search? Okay, that's pretty good. If an Equip spell card is activated targeting this card, you can destroy 1 card on the field. Any card controlled by your opponent that is involved in a chain link 2 or higher with this effect is destroyed after resolving their effect. Wait, what? Good old Dark Spellion. Send Farfa, add a Living Fossil. Oh, whoa, that's pretty good. That turns it into removal. I'm still trying to figure out the last part of this effect. If an equipped spell card is activated targeting this card, destroy 1 card on the field. Any card controlled by the opponent that is involved in a chain link 2 or higher with this effect. Oh, okay, for the effect of destroying is destroyed after resolving their effect. So if someone tries to respond to it in some way, to like negate, then they get destroyed. Well, that's neat. I've never seen it worded that way before. So immediate destruction. I'm not sure how good this would be because it's a fusion monster with specific materials, but if you can hit the field, it does have decent effects. I don't know if it's good enough to hit the field though. Okay, so those are the only 2, which makes sense because, you know, they draw the art personally. And Great Ones is always Matthias. He always does a good job of, you know, both drawing the cards and then also having decent custom cards. Next one, Reptilian Burst Kill. So someone said this was made as support to make Reptilians more playable. Is a quick play spell card. Target up to 3 creatures, change their attack to 0. Then, if it is your opponent's turn, you can banish reptile monsters from your deck and graveyard to synchro summon 1 Reptilian synchro monster. You can only activate 1 Reptilian Burst Kill per turn. There is a Reptilian synchro monster which has the effect that when it's summoned, you get to destroy all of your opponent's monsters with 0 attack and then draw a card for each. And since this card allows you to use monsters from your deck as material, basically, if you're playing a Reptilian deck, this allows you to destroy 3 monsters and then draw 3 cards, while getting a body on the field. That would definitely help Reptilians, that's for sure. a +5. Pretty much. Also, even if you don't use it to destroy, it changes their attacks to 0 permanently, which also helps Reptilians since all of their effects need their opponent's monsters to have 0 attack. But one of the things Reptilians are really bad at is actually making their opponent's monsters have 0 attack. Reptilians are a weird archetype where their intended mechanic is pretty obvious. They want their opponent's monsters to have 0 attack so they can use their effects. But they're also simultaneously really bad at accomplishing activating their effects. Like, they can't really make their opponent's monsters have 0 attack in unconvoluted ways. They have released new support over the years that help it along, but it's funny that the original run of Reptilian cards just could not lower their opponent's monsters' attacks to 0 in unconvoluted ways. So it was just like a really bad archetype with a couple of decent cards like Vishki, who was like the upgraded version of Mother Spider. Make a trash archetype, give him a +6? Yeah, you kind of have to. I would just play 3 Utopia OTK and just beat over their opponent's monsters too. This would be a really good card. Hold on, can't this card actually not activate on your turn due to everything being on effect? No colors or semicolon? I guess the limiting factor in this is you do have to use it during your opponent's turn, so you can't use it in order to immediately gain the advantage of drawing 3 cards. Plus, it only destroys the cards, and it doesn't negate their effects, it just changes their attack to 0. Reptilians are bad enough where it probably wouldn't see play, even though the card is redunculous. Next one, we have Release the Kraken. It says, hello, my name is Released.
Nice to meet you, Patrick.
It is a Link 8 monster. It's Aqua. It has the effect, can only be summoned to an extra monster zone. You can use monsters your opponent controls, but he's not cute. That just means Rosemi wouldn't play it. Anyways, let me read the rest of this. You can use monsters your opponent controls as link materials for this card's Link Summon. Monsters that were used as materials for this card's Link Summon cannot activate their effects this turn. This card cannot be used as Link material for the Link Summon. Either player can use this card to attack or for a tribute. So, this card is really good. It requires 8 monsters exactly, and it allows you to use your opponent's monsters as materials. So in the same vein as like a sphere mode, you can use this in order to just like get rid of all of your opponent's hard to bring out boss monsters, but without having to draw a sphere mode. However, it does require 8 monsters exactly. You can't have up to 8. And your opponent can only have 6 monsters on their side of the field at a time. Technically they can have 7, but this can only be summoned to an extra monster zone, so it needs to be 6. So if your opponent has a maximum of 6 monsters, you still need to get 2 monsters on the field before you can release the Kraken. And then it gets rid of them in a good way. They're used as materials, their effects are negated, and it has the slight downside where both players can use this card to attack. I'm not sure how that would really work, but I understand the intention of it. And also they can just tribute it for a tribute summon. I think this card is pretty good. It seems broken at first, but the person who made this obviously put some thought into it. Or maybe they did and they thought it would just be funny. I think they did though. Well, yeah, they have multiple link 3s. No. Doesn't matter if they have multiple links because it requires 8 monsters. Their link ratings don't matter when it requires exactly the amount of link materials it costs. Would it ever see play? Maybe, yeah. It might see play. It's a sphere mode, but for your opponent's entire field, but one that requires you to have monsters on the field as well. Next up, we have Ubell, the Ultimate Love. Okay, so someone made some Ubell art. Whoa. Booba? I don't know about that. Fiend, Fusion, wait, what's his level? 12. 1 level 10 or higher Ubell monster, plus 1 monster with more than 0 attack. If this card is fusion summoned, gain life points equal to the combined original attack of the materials used for its fusion summon. And if you do, this card gains the same number of attack. Wait, what? Gain life points equal to combined original attack of the materials, and then it gains the same amount of attack. This face-up card in the field cannot be tributed, nor used as a fusion material. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no damage from attacks involving this card. Oh, so it can't be kaiju'd nor super polymerization, but it itself is a super polymerization target within the Ubell archetype. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Ubell monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, except Ubell the Ultimate Love, ignoring its summoning conditions. So this can bring out Ubell, the ultimate nightmare. And it's easy to bring out too. Whoa, this is definitely a super poly target. Yep. Next up, we have, ooh, I like this one. The Mysterious Mystic Swordsman rank 2. This is a rank 2 monster that requires 2+ monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, for the rest of this turn, you take no battle damage. An Xyz monster that has this card as a material gains this effect. Quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. You can only use this effect of this monster's name once per turn. What I really like about this is the next card. Because this one is rank 4 if I believe. Yeah. Requires 3 level 4 monsters once per turn. You can also XC summon this card on top of the previous card using its full materials. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. An Xyz monster with this card as a material gains this effect. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach one material from this card and negate the attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then the next card, which is rank 6, once per turn, you can summon this card on top of the previous one using it as the full materials. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defensive position monster, you can shuffle that card into the deck. You can only use the effects of this card once per turn. During the standby phase, you can target an Xyz monster in your graveyard attached to this card as a material. Ooh. Quick effect, you can detach any number of materials from this card, then target that many monsters your opponent controls. They cannot change their battle positions until the end of your opponent's turn. Also can lock them down. Basically, you start off with Mysterious Mystic Swordsman R2, and then you rank him up into this, and then you rank him up into this, and then he inherits the effects of the previous 2 cards. With the very first one basically giving it an ultimate conductor Tyranno-like effect to flip all their cards face down. And then this one having the effect to attack all of them and spin them. So it's an excellent form of removal, and I'm pretty sure it's quick effect too. So when he sent this in, like when I first saw these, before I read his little note, I was like, whoa, these are awesome. This is exactly what I mentioned in my video on failed level monsters. You know, how they could probably fix them by just turning them into Xyz monsters, because Xyz monsters are basically better level monsters because they do the thing that they're trying to do. So this one gives level 2 monsters support. Actually, this would be an option in Paleo Frog. Now that I think about it, because it starts off with level 2 monsters. This is Paleo Frog support. Whoa. Sorry, reading all these really dries out my throat like crazy. So I mute my mic to drink water every now and then. Anyways, these cards are awesome. I love them. They inherit effects. It kind of reminds me of the Digimon and how they work. Whenever they level up, they digivolve. Give us the cough ASMR. You guys don't want to hear me cough at the mic. I'm doing this for your benefit. Oh, an easy 4 material Zeus. I didn't even think of that. Then you can just go into Zeus afterwards. Saber siblings. Oh, you're the one who made these cards. Yeah, these are great. They did also send in some other ones, but I only picked these ones because they're the ones I read. And afterwards, they're like, I made these after seeing your video on the level monsters and how you said they should be Xyz monsters. And I was like, yeah. So the rank 6 can't go into Zeus? It can't? It says it can't be used as a material? Oh, wow, so they future-proofed it. Well, not future-proof, but they thought of the Zeus interaction. That's nice. Okay, so next up we have 2017. This is a field spell card with the effect where both players can only special summon monsters from the extra deck to the extra monster zone, or zones that link monsters point to. Doesn't revert back pendulums though? Yeah, it's because this is already how pendulums work. No, I want it banned. Gaps, you monster. Man, imagine how limiting this would be on your opponent. What if they're playing virtual worlds where they can't use link monsters? Just completely floodgated. This could shut down a lot of decks. Yeah, it does. This card would be redunculous. Konami, please ban this. Can you imagine if they changed the rules of the game to this? That would be crazy. It's an easy to search spell too. Exactly. Great Coin second field spell for Monarchs. I think the Monarch field spell they have is better than this. Next up, we have Unity of the Normal. Ooh. It's a Link 2 monster. Requires 2 level 2 or lower normal monsters except tokens. I like this. Once per turn, you can add 1 spell trap from your deck to your hand that matches one of these requirements. Wait. Once per turn, add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that matches one of these requirements. It can only target a normal monsters. It can only affect normal monsters on the field. It requires an effect a specific amount of normal monsters on the field for its activation. That's a little bit too specific and vague at the same time. I guess I should say that's a little bit too vague for like a search condition. It needs to have like specific names in it, I believe. I don't think they have cards which search out cards that have a kind of an effect. If this card was link summoned, quick effect, you can tribute this card, then special summon from your graveyard one of the normal monsters used for its link summon. I like this card. I like the idea behind this card. So you use 2 monsters and you can search out Law of the Normal, and then you can tribute the card to bring out a normal monster from your graveyard, which is good. I would say let it bring out 2 cards, or even 3. Make it have the same materials, just change its effect to search out Law of the Normal, and then have the tribute effect where it just summons 3 cards from the graveyard. That way you can actually resolve Law of the Normal, or up to 5, yeah. Tribute itself to special summon up to 5 normal monsters from the graveyard. That would be great. From deck or graveyard. No, not from the deck. That's too much. Like, it should be able to special summon 5 level 2 or lower normal monsters from your graveyard, because then you have to set up your graveyard with level 2 or lower normal monsters. Like, the card would be a win condition. Did you get these cards from your uncle at Konami? Did you guys know I commissioned custom artwork for... Oh wait, no, that wasn't for Law of the Normal. That was for Reptile support. That's for something else. I commissioned custom artwork for a series of custom cards once. I created custom cards for Law of the Normal support, and I did the Photoshop stuff myself. You can summon the materials used to make it. You can summon one of the materials used to make it. I'm saying it should go further beyond. Show us? No. They're too embarrassing. Okay, let me show you. This is the card. I drew it myself. It's called SSGSS Goku. It's level 4. It's unaffected by all card effects and it cannot be destroyed by battle. It has 5,000 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's attack. And you can pay 500 life points to special summon this card from your deck. It's a little bit weak, but I think with enough support, it would probably work. So, next card. Oh, that's it. We're done. Everybody, that's all of them. That's all of the custom cards for the custom card review show.